Welcome to my favorite place, the forest, where I will share my experience on how I have been using essential oils to process emotions as a really important part of my healing journey. And for those of you who don't know me yet, I have healed my Prolapse stage 3 and my birth injuries. And I'm still on that healing journey. And it goes up and down, and in this channel I share all the different tools and methods that I come across that have helped me in some way. I think this is a really important and inspiring part of any kind of healing journey, to process emotions. So if you look at, for example, Indian culture or Chinese culture, they have words for life force, and life energy that is flowing in our bodies. In India it's prana, and in Chinese it's qi or qi. And I think it's so beautiful. As long as we breathe, we have this life force energy, and we want to have that flowing, right? We don't want it to get stuck. But through our experiences, if we do not process emotions and thoughts, things will get stuck. And using essential oils was a tool to process emotions and to make your energy flow easier, so that all kind of channels are open for you to actually be able to heal. And you can see it as spiritual channels, but you can also see it as the nervous system channel, which is the communicating link from our brain. So it can be very scientific, and using essential oils for healing is actually scientific, because science has shown when we smell something how the brain reacts. I'm gonna go more into that very soon. But I just wanted to mention here that I got this tool and technique from a wonderful lady called Shannon Dunn. She's amazing. She healed her prolapse. She had a uterine prolapse stage 2, and the doctors told her to do a surgery once she was done with giving birth. And she was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And she was actually one of my first teachers and really inspirational source. So she dedicated her life to heal, and it took her 4 years, and then she went back to the doctor, and no prolapse. She really fully healed holistically, and she's done it in such a beautiful way. And a big part of that was actually processing emotions and using essential oils. So she taught me how to do this. And I think for any kind of healing that you are in, it's so important to find these small actions throughout the day, and like small lifestyle changes to start to implement and start to communicate with yourself and your system in different ways. You need to change things to make change happen in your body too. This is a beautiful example. It doesn't take any time at all, almost. But you need to train for a while to get it into your system and to get it in through your daily life activity. So in this video I'll go over 3 things with you. Why should you use essential oils for processing emotions? How do you use essential oils for processing emotions? And 6 examples of essential oils and what emotions they represent, and how to process those emotions. So why you should do it? I already mentioned the science, so you could Google this if you want to know more. But basically, if you take essential oils and just rub it into your hands and smell, they have done different studies on this, and it shows different areas in the brain activates due to the smell. It's a really easy way to work with the brain holistically to activate different areas, and we need all the areas, especially kind of the more subconscious ones, that we actually activate more through natural activities, not watching a screen, for example. That's not going to activate our subconscious brain. It's more being in nature, smelling something natural, maybe tasting something, feeling safe. That's all part of activating the part of the nervous system that makes us calm and can also accelerate our healing. And since we need to be calm in our nervous system to heal, it's great to use essential oils because almost all of them, I think I have come across, have a calming effect. So that's kind of like one of the foundations for any essential oils, and then they have like certain other qualities. Okay, so let's take a look at how to do this. So what you need is essential oils, and maybe you want to find a supplier near you. Just make sure that the essential oils that you buy are organic. That's super important. To do this activity, we are going to use the essential oils topical. So we're going to use 1 to 2 drops because they are very strong if you're not familiar with essential oils. So around 1 to 2 drops for each emotion. And if you have any type of skin sensitivity or any allergy at all, you could use some carrier oil, for example coconut oil, and dilute it. Better safe than sorry. And now I'm going to give you an example of 6 different essential oils that I used and that are connected to different types of emotions that you will probably want to process. You actually put each oil on different parts of your body. So the first step for starting to use the essential oils for processing emotions are to define the emotion. So as soon as you experience some kind of negative emotion, you need to identify it. And, you know, maybe you don't exactly know what emotion it is, and that's completely fine too. Maybe it's an emotion of just feeling stuck or numb or more general emotions, and that's fine. Then you can just take the essential oil that appeals to you. But I'm going to give you very concrete tips here. But it starts with you identifying the emotion that you are experiencing. So the first essential oil is lavender. And I take it as soon as I feel stressed. Mostly I've been feeling quite rooted and calm, but since becoming a mother, something awakened in me and I felt, not stressed because I have so many things to do, but stressed because I felt the responsibility of another human being 24 hours a day, 365 days per year. And I felt I wanted to give them the perfect food. They need to sleep on time. Still, I can sense that stress sometimes. From my perspective, it's not the kind of stress that I hear people talk about, so it was a bit hard for me to identify that it was stress, because it wasn't like I had 100 things on my to-do list. It was more a stress like, just thinking about will my kids eat this when I cook dinner, and it creates kind of a tension in me. And my point of saying this is that stress can look so different from people to people. It wasn't like I was burnt out because I had so much to do. It was more a general stress in life, like being a mother. When I am feeling any kind of stress, I take lavender. I take 1 to 2 drops on my finger, and I just go over my uterus from my abdomen. So low, just kind of above your pubic bone. I just take my finger and take it over my uterus, because I just want her to be able to relax, root down, and help me get rid of this stress. And of course, I always smell the essential oil before I put it on my body. So, and that's it. And when you do this, you have acknowledged the feeling and you have identified it. So only that is a big step. And then you take this oil, it will make you calmer, it will make you shift a little bit in your perspective, in your mind. Okay, so the next essential oil is geranium. And I use that oil whenever I feel anxiety. And anxiety can also be slightly hard sometimes to identify, so you just be patient and see. But whenever you feel kind of restless in your body, or like, something didn't go the way you were planning, or if you are worried a lot, maybe you're worried for your kids or someone close to you, there can be so many reasons for anxiety, and I think anxiety is kind of a word that represents many emotions just in that word. So you just be patient with yourself and see how it defines for you. So geranium, I would take 1 or 2 drops in my hands and I would rub them like this and smell to get rid of anxiety. But it's not, like you get rid of it like this, but it's acknowledging the feeling, and then it's also easier for your system to let it go. Okay, so the next oil is Spruce Leaf. And I love the forest, so I love that oil. Whenever I judge myself, when I'm being hard on myself, or actually on other people, because usually if I'm hard on other people, I'm hard on myself as well. So I connect this oil with forgiveness and forgiving yourself. So if I feel that I'm hard, then I'm usually hard towards someone, either myself or someone around me. So then I would take 1 to 2 drops on my fingers and I would place them over my heart. So that's how I kind of confirm for myself that I am being a little hard right now, and I need to forgive myself for being like this. It's completely fine, I'm human, but it's about acknowledging that emotion to be able to process it and let it go. Let your nervous system free from it. The next one I am using is wild orange, and this is to process anger or let go of anger. So I would take 1 or 2 drops on my fingers and then rub it over my belly, so around the belly button. And of course, each essential oil that I use, I always smell so that the brain can start to react to it. When I was experiencing my symptomatic prolapse, I experienced a lot of heaviness, both mentally but also physically in my body. So then I would use Tangerine, and I would take 1 drop on one hand and take it underneath one foot, so sole of the foot, and then 1 drop underneath the other sole of the foot to kind of acknowledge the heaviness that I could feel and allow it to be more light, the feet to be more light and my whole being up from the feet. The last oil I want to mention is frankincense. I love this oil, I love all essential oil, but this is more for prevention. So this I would take the first thing in the morning, or I brush my teeth, and then before I eat or anything, I take 1 drop on my finger and I place it in the roof of the mouth, up here. But then, you really need to make sure you have nicely organic essential oils, and the purpose of doing this is to keep your mind fresh throughout the day. In the morning your mind is a bit calmer and you want to keep it like fresh and keep your mind open, so that's the purpose of taking 1 drop of frankincense into the roof of your mouth. Okay, so that's it. That's the magic trick for processing emotions with essential oils, and I really hope that you feel inspired to try it. For me, I could process in the beginning like 1 emotion per day. I didn't have time and I didn't have the thinking of processing emotion throughout the day. But as, the weeks passed, I started to identify more and more emotions through each day. And actually, I'm quite aware now of my emotions, which I think is a really good effect of doing this on a daily basis. And some days I don't even need to use the oils, and that's amazing, and it's such a big difference from when I was like in my deep dark hole because of all my symptoms. So I can really feel the connection between processing the emotions and how you get kind of lighter in the system versus just kind of staying there in your deep dark hole and experience and when you don't know how to let go of all the negative emotions and you are stuck there. It's very frustrating, and at least as a mother, I didn't have the time to go to therapy for 1.5 hours each week. So this is a great life hack, and I really recommend you to go into Shannon Dunn's website. I'll put a link here. She's amazing and super inspiring. And let me know if you try this and how it works for you, if you are trying any other oils than the ones I am mentioning, and where you would put them on your body. And let's learn from each other. Thank you.